Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's session for the Excel class. Today we're going to be focusing on data sorting, filtering, and lookup formulas. I will also be showing some other editing information that you might need for your assignments. So I'm going to start with the session because there is quite a bit that we have to do. All right, for those that was in the previous sessions last week, Thursday and Friday, this was the file that we worked on, that we did all the formulas in previously. So I'm not going to go back and show all the previous formulas and editings that we did. For those of you that didn't make the first two classes, you can get the videos online. If you have questions, please raise your hand. I will get you guys as I see the hands come up. I'll just quickly get this one person with a question quickly. I think it's Wendy. Wendy, what's your question?
Good morning. Thank you. I attended the first class, but I missed the second class, and I just wanted to find out where I can get the link so that I can catch up and it all makes sense to me.
All right, so the videos will all be available on this website that I have here on the screen. It's this http://tinyurl.com Florida UNISA. Under the page that says student support materials, you'll see there's a tab specifically for EUP, and also on the computer screen you can get the sessions there. They have been uploaded already, so you can go through them. But even if you did miss the session on Friday, it's not to become of Christ. The only thing that might be a problem is the absolute cell reference, but I will go through it as we go along just to get everybody more or less up to speed on what we were doing. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. All right, guys. So on Friday's session, we did the absolute cell referencing and we did the if statements, all right, to get the computer to show you where the students has passed, fails, got distinctions, where they should get salaries and bonuses, things like that as well. Today we're going to use different formulas to do this. We're going to use the lookup formulas to do this as well. But before we get to lookup formulas, I want to start with data sorting and filtering. All right, this is also a big thing that students struggle with during their assignments and their portfolios specifically, especially in the portfolios. When it comes to the portfolios, they like asking students to do this, and it's actually not that difficult to do if it was just explained to you properly. So I'm just going to explain to you what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing sorting on this page that I have here. All right. So as you can see, it's all the students. I've put in their surnames now as well, so that we just have a bit more information as well. As I said previously, I will put links to the files underneath the videos itself as well, so that you can get the files if you want to practice on these files. And as you go through the video, it makes it just a bit easier so that you have something to practice on as well while you're doing this. All right. So in this sheet, you can see all the student numbers that I have here is all mixed, right? So it's no particular order, nothing, it's random numbers in between. So let's say I want to make this easy and I want to put it according to student number. So from the lowest student number to the highest student number. So I basically want to sort my data, all right? Now, the one thing that most people know how to do to sort is they simply just highlight what they wanted to sort. They would have gone to their home menu here where it says sort and filter, all right? That is fine if you're working with independent data that's not linked to anything else. But if I just sort my student numbers at this stage, it will sort the student numbers, but the rest of the data will then stay where it was. So you'll have the wrong student numbers next to the wrong information. So you must always make sure when you're doing sorting that you highlight all the information that's related to what you are doing. All right. So whatever is relevant to what you're sorting must all be highlighted. All right. So to do this as well, I'm going to show you the proper way of doing the sorting by using the menus on top. All right. So to do this, first thing I'm going to highlight everything I want to sort. So I'm going to highlight from my headings as well. Remember on the first session as well, when we did the cell styles, I showed you how to make this a cell style, which we did by making it a cell style of heading 4. So this is where this cell styles now will come into play. Excel will actually pick this up as a style when you're doing this sorting. All right. So I'm going to highlight all my headings and all my information. So from the heading all the way to the last heading, all the way to the last student. Now to use the sort and data option, all right, you're going to use it going to the data menu on top. So there where it says data, you're going to click on data on top. And there you'll get your data menu. On the data menu, you will see more or less in the middle. I'll hold my mouse there so you can see it moving around. There's a big button there that says sort. All right, I'm going to use this sort function to show how to do proper sorting as well, because I might ask you to sort in different ways that you can't do from the home menu. All right, so I'm going to click on my sort menu. Once I've clicked on my sort menu, you'll get this dialog box that comes up. All right. Yeah, it shows you what it is you want to sort and all the different things that you want to do. Another thing you'll notice well is the headings that I had highlighted at the back is not highlighted anymore. So if you can remember, I had all my headings highlighted, but they're not highlighted now. The reason for this is Excel picked it up. This is a style that I had in there. There was a heading. And now actually takes your headings and puts it in your sorting option for you. So here where it says column sort by, it actually takes all your headings and puts it in the menu for you. So it makes life much easier if you want to sort. So now you can simply choose according to what you want to sort and know all the data will be together. So I want to sort according to student number. So I'm just going to click on student number. Here you could have chosen you want it from small to large, large to small. If you're working with other things, well, it would have been alphabetical order as well. So I'm just going to leave it as small to large. And I'm going to click on OK. So now it will sort all my student numbers. It will automatically keep all the surnames next to the correct student number and all the marks as well. So it's important that you highlight everything that you want to work with. All right. So that's one thing with sorting is make sure that you have everything highlighted that's linked to each other or what is related to what you want to sort. All right. Another thing that I want to show you guys as well is naming of cells before I continue with the rest of things. So what naming of cells is, if I have this whole block highlighted like I do here. Now, remember in the beginning I told you when you click on the cell, it shows you the cell name here on top. In the right in the top corner here, it says C9. There you can see it shows C9. All right. So I've highlighted there, here where my mouse is moving. If I click on any cell, it will show that particular cell that you're working with. All right. So, but if you want to take a number of cells, you want to give it a name. So you can highlight this whole block because this is all the information of the students, all their results for their sums, the year marks and so on. So you can actually give it a simple name instead of just having all the different cells. So to do this, you're going to highlight all the cells you want to give a name to. You're going to go to your name box here on top. All right. So there where it shows A5 down top, you'll see it's highlighted in blue there. I'm just going to delete whatever's in there and I'm just going to name this to results. I'm typing the name that I want to give, which is now results. Once you've typed in name, always press enter. All right. You just press enter and those cells will now be named results. To show if I click anywhere in this block as well, I can highlight whatever I want. It will still show the cells. The only time it will show that name is if you highlight it all again. You'll see now it goes back to results. Okay. So the name box here on top, you'll use if you want to give cells certain name. For example, I can highlight all the surnames and also give it a name of surnames instead of just having it from cell B5 all the way to B16. You can name your cells to a specific name. All right. You'll see where the naming of cells is also important a bit later once we get to the lookup formulas. All right. So that's where you're going to have to use it. So I'm going to go now to my next sheet where we're going to do the lookup formulas. All right. So I'm just going to make this a bit bigger so that you can all see there. All right. So yeah, I've got a basic sheet. I didn't do any editing on it yet. All right. I'm just going to do some basic editing to catch you up on what we did previously as well. So on my first heading, I'm going to click on the heading. I'm going to go to my cell styles. I'm going to make that my first heading, heading 1. So remember, this is cell styles. I keep repeating this because in the assignments I will tell you use a cell style and do this or use that and do that. All right. So it's important that you know the names of whatever it is you're doing. All right. So I've made all of that cell styles. I'm also going to do these headings as cell styles and those are for heading 4. All right. So this is now, let's say for SAA, this is a bunch of pilots that fly for them. And this is the week that they've flown, showing how many hours they've flown for each day. Now we want to do some editing on this as well. Before I get to the editing and the formulas, I just want to show here where my headings is going. So on this first one, if I click on that one where it says total hours that you'll see there. If you look on the formula bar on top, it actually says total hours for week. So there's still data in there that's hidden, all right? Because it's too big for the cell at this stage. So you want your data to fit in there. But now I don't want to make my columns too big, all right? Otherwise my columns are going to become too big. I actually want my cells my data that's in each cell to go underneath each other, right? As you've noticed in Excel, whenever you type, it will just keep going in one straight line. It won't go underneath each other like it does in Word, all right? To do this, you can actually get this to go underneath each other as well. This is called wrapping of text. So I'm going to highlight all of these headings that I have here, all right? So I've highlighted from column G all the way to column L for that row 6. Now I want to tell Excel to put my data underneath each other. So to do this, I'm going to go to my home menu. We get alignment where we did the merge and send, all right? We did this in the first 2 sessions as well. There you get another option where it says wrap text. So if you click on wrap text, it does that. It puts all your work underneath each other for you, all right? So that you don't have to make your columns now wider, right? You can actually get your words to go underneath each other by using wrap text, all right? So wrap text is to get your text underneath each other, all right? That puts it nice underneath each other so that you don't have to make your columns bigger. Yes, all right. Guys, always just make sure that your mics are muted, all right? Okay, so coming back to what we want to do. All right, so here I've got total hours for the week, average hours for the week, and here I also have total hours. So the total hours at the bottom will be for each day individually. The total hours on this side will be for each person, the total hours that each person flew. So if you remember on the day when I showed you how to use the sum formula, all right, but I also showed you how to use quick analysis, all right. I'm going to use quick analysis to do this again because I know quick analysis is part of the assignments. So quick analysis, you first highlight all the information you want to work with that you want to add, all right. Once you highlight at the bottom right, you get your little quick analysis toolbar there. You'll see if I hold my mouse there, it shows quick analysis. So I click on quick analysis. I want to get totals because I want to add, so I click on totals. I want to get the sum because sum is to add. I want to add at the bottom there. You see automatically already puts it in there in bold. I also want to do quick analysis for the side for each person, so I can simply go to my quick analysis there as well. All right. So I click on sum for quick analysis there. And that then gives me my totals for each day and also for each person individually. All right. Yeah, I've got average hours. I should put it in there so that I can just refresh you guys on how to put in formulas again, all right? So remember, whenever you're doing formulas for calculation, the very first thing you must always have in is the equal sign. So equals, the formula we want to use is average, open bracket. Now the cell range is the cells that you want to use. So this will be from B7 all the way to F7. So I can close that, close the bracket, press enter, and there I get it. So now once again, instead of having to do it for each person, you can simply use your autofill function that I showed you in the first 2 sessions as well. So remember how autofill works. You first click on the region you want to use, go to the bottom right, get your little black cross there, click, and do your autofill. So autofill will put in all the formulas for you. All right. Now, coming to basic salary, you'll see I've put in notes on each tab as well there. It says, the basic salary is calculated with the total hours multiplied by the 400. So the 400 that I have here is that. Now the 400 mustn't just be 400, it must be a currency, it must be rands to show this is actually now money. So remember, if you want to change anything to money, you're going to click on the thing you want to change. Right on top on your home menu, we get numbers. Remember, it's called accounting number formatting. If you want to change anything to currency, you're going to go to accounting number formatting. That will change it to a currency for you. As you can see, it puts in the symbol again and puts in your 2 decimals to show you working with cents as well. All right. So the basic salary, as I said, will be the total hours, which for this person is now 38, multiplied by 400. So all of these guys will get that hours multiplied by the 400. So once again, we're going to be using absolute cell referencing. So remember, absolute cell reference is when you tell Excel to use one number or one amount for everybody, that everybody will be using the same data. All right. So to calculate this, this is now a basic calculation. All right. The difference between a formula and a basic calculation is the formula will have a name. So it will be equals max average if whatever the formula might be. All right. A basic calculation, what you'll be using like you're using calculator will be this multiplied by that or this plus that. All right. So for this, we're just going to be doing a basic calculation. So once again, equal sign first. So I'm to say, take the total hours for this guy, which is now that 38. So I can simply just click on it. All right. Also remember to you just use the cells. Don't type in 38. All right. You have to use the cell reference that you're working with. So I've clicked on that cell, which is G7, It puts it in my formula for me or in my calculation. Now I can say I want to multiply. Now I want to multiply it with the 400s. But now remember, we want to use this 400 for everybody. So to tell the computer that 400, which is now an I5, must be used for everybody, all we do is we go to that cell. I've clicked in between the I and the 5. So you click in between the number and the letter and use function 4 on your keyboard. Remember, function 4 is for absolute cell referencing. Okay, so absolute cell referencing puts in those dollar signs. This means that cell will be staying the same for everybody. Everybody will be doing the same thing. So whether you copy this thing 100 times, 1,000 times, it will use the same number for everybody. All right. As I said previously as well, you must use the function when you're applying absolute cell referencing. Don't try and type in the dollar signs on your own. You'll lose marks in your assignments. All right. So make sure you use the function to show it's a function that you applied. Once I did that, I can simply click on enter. Now, this little dollar signs that you see here, all right, or the hashtags that you see there, that is not a mistake, all right. Whenever you're working in Excel and you get a cell that's showing those hashtags, all right, it's called a hashtag notation. This just basically means your cell is too small to display the information that's in there. This only works with numbers, all right. So this is an indication that your cell is too small. So I'm simply going to go and I'm going to make my cell bigger so that everything will display. You'll see as soon as I make my cell bigger, the value will display instead of the hashtags. All right. So if you share hashtags in your document, just make your column or your row bigger. All right. That's just simply to show that your cell's not big enough. So once I've made all of this correct, go to my bottom right corner, get my black cross there, highlight downwards, and it does the salary for all of them. All right. Just go back to the formula view like I showed you guys in the previous session as well. If you want to see the formulas, you can simply click on your keyboard to get these formulas. All right. And you can actually see now that in each format, use that I5 for each one. So everybody's multiplied by that 400 on top. All right. So each person will just have their own totals, but it will have the same I5 for everybody. Okay. Okay. I hope you guys are all still with me. Remember, if I'm going a bit too fast as well, just tell me to slow down. I will slow down as well. Just raise your hands, ask a question, whatever, as we go along. Okay. So now we get to the lookup formulas. All right. Now, before I do the lookup formulas, at the bottom here, I've got a column that says bonus rates. Now, this numbers on this side is according to how many hours. So this is the hours, and this will be percentage. Remember, I told you as well, if you want to work with percentage, you always work with decimal values. So to display this as actual currencies, you can simply highlight it as percentage and click on percentage there on top of numbers. You'll get it to show as percentages. All right. So how this basically works. If a guy flew 25 hours, so between 25 and 30 hours, you get 0%. If you fly between 30 and 35, you get 5%. So this is basically your brackets. This is more or less the same concept that you get in shops where they tell you if you buy for 10,000 Rand, you'll get so much discount. If you buy for more, you get more discounts. All right. It works on the same concept. So they build this into their systems to say if a person buys for so much or so many amounts, give him discounts of this amount. All right. Okay. So going onwards with all of the tables. So this will always be between that one and the next one. It won't include that one. So it's from 25 to 30. So it will be up until 29.9999 repeatedly. All right. So here on flight time bonus as well, you'll see it says the bonus percentage is calculated according to the bonus rate table below. So this is this rate here. And this is now where you're going to use your lookup formula. All right. So if you look at this first person here, all right, I'm going to highlight that whole row. You see, he had a total of 38 hours that he flew. So if we work according to the bonus rate, he'll fall into that category of 35 to 40. So he'll have to get a 10% bonus. All right, because it's in between 30 and the next value. So it will be in that column there. All right. But as I said, we're not going to do this manually. We have to do this using formulas, because you can imagine if you've got 1,000 employees, you have to sit and going through each one. It's going to take you forever. And that's why we do formulas to do this. All right. So to insert the formula, like I showed you on the previous session, we can use the insert function button here on top. All right. So next to your formula bar, if you'll see on top where my mouse is, there you get fx, that is insert function. So I'm going to click on insert function. You get all the functions that you might use. If the function you want isn't in the list, Just go to the top there where it says type a brief description. You can simply type in there you want a lookup formula. All right, we'll give you all the options you might want to use for lookups. Okay, I just want to use the normal lookup form, so I'm going to click on lookup, click on OK. Then you'll get your next step for your lookup formulas. All right, now there's two different lookup forms that you can use. As you can see from the arguments here where it says arguments, there's two different ones. This one it says lookup value, lookup vector, and lookup in result vector. Next one just says lookup value and array. All right. The difference between this is depending on how much data you're working with. All right, we're working with how many information that we have to work with in this form. We first have to work with the amount of hours, the total hours, so that's 1. Then we have to work according to the amount of time, so the column here at the bottom. Then that is also linked to that. So we're working with 3 different sets of values that we have to look for. First look at the total, then under which one will fall, then what amount is linked to that set value. All right. So for this reason, we're going to use that first one that has the 3 vectors. All right, 3 options. So you click on that, and here's your lookup value or your lookup formula. All right. The lookup value, lookup vector, and then result vector. All right. The lookup value will always be what are you looking at to determine this guy's discount, this guy's mark, this guy's percentage, whatever it might be. In this instance, we have to look at the person's total hours that he flew for the week. All right, so I'm going to click on his total hours and it puts in the cell for me. That's the first step. So the first one that always goes in there is what are you looking at? All right, now you go to your next one, the lookup vector. This now we must say look for this value in this column of information so you can see under which one it will fall. All right, now you highlight all those values. So it's from A16 all the way to A19. Okay. Now we go to the next step. Now we say results. So once it knows which bonus rate it will fall under, what percentage will be linked to it. So now once again, you have to highlight all of them. You can't just highlight the one because you know it's the correct one. You have to highlight the entire table. All right. All of the values that's linked to it. All right. So this is now to show what are you looking at. I'm looking at his totals. All right, total hours. What table must it look under? It must look under that table to see how much, under which table it will fall. And then the last step is what values are linked to the table. That is now the percentages. Okay. So once I did that, I can click on OK. You'll see it's automatically put in now. This guy has to get a 10% bonus because he falls into that bracket. Okay. Now, once we did that, you can use your autofill function to complete all of this. But if you're going to be using autofill, remember autofill will keep adding 1 to whatever you're doing. So if I autofill this, I'm just going to autofill it to show what's going to happen here. If I autofill this, you're going to get this because this is wrong. To show you what the formula there is showing now, all right? The lookup formula is now working with G7, yes, A16 to A19, but the next one only works from A17, which is incorrect, all right? Because A17 will be from there. So it's now skipping that first step, all right? This now, once again, we have to use absolute cell referencing. So I'm going to delete this. I'm just going to go back to the formula. Remember to fix it. Simple as you click on it and you go back to your insert function button here on top where you got it originally. Click on it. Choose the one that we're working. We worked with that one. Click on OK. And there's your formula back. All right. So what we have, yes, we have to make sure that the formula uses all of this for everybody, because you have to use that for everybody. So I'm going to highlight all of that. So you highlight your entire cell range now. So you highlight from A16 all the way to A90, which was your cell range, and use the same function to make it absolute, which was the F4, function 4. So you simply click on function 4, and you'll see it puts in all those dollar signs, show this is now absolute reference. So it will be the same for everybody, because everybody uses the same information. All right. So highlight that as well. Function 4 on your keyboard, make it absolute. All right. For those of you that don't know still about where the function 4 is, on your keyboard, you're on top, all those F1, 2, 3, all the way to F12. Those are your function buttons. All right. So that's function 4. That is for absolute cell referencing. All right. So you have to know how to use your absolute cell reference on your keyboard using function 4. All right. So now I've made all of those absolutes. Now let's try and autofill it again. Now you can actually see now your formula will work. All right, you can double check it. See, this guy's 33, so he'll fall into that bracket. Yes, 5%. These guys have between 25 and 30, so he falls into that bracket. Nothing. Last person has 41, so he'll get in that bracket there. All right. So this is how your lookup formula is going to work. All right. So the lookup formula is to look at one particular value, compare it to something else, and give the results on what is linked to it. Okay. So this is how your lookup formula work. I'll do it quickly again so that we can go through it again to show you how we did it. All right. So from the start, we're first going to click where we want to work. Go to insert function on top. Click on insert function. I want to use my lookup formula. Click on lookup. Click on OK. I want to use 3 values. I click on the first one. All right. Lookup values. What are you looking at? You're looking at is totals, because that's going to determine how much bonus he's going to get. And they will give you these instructions in your assignments or portfolios as well. All right. So they will tell you, use the lookup, compare the guy's total hours and compare it to whatever table, or look at this and see how much delivery fee he has to pay. I know there was the question the previous semester. They actually gave a table and they said, look at how much delivery is going to pay according to where he lives. Okay, so that would be in the same scenario. All right, so look at that. What am I looking at? So I have to look at what table it links to. I have to make it absolute. So I made it absolute already. Now, what information is linked to that? It is the percentages. Make that absolute as well, because everybody uses the same percentages as well. I can simply click on OK. It's all there, and I can use my autofill function. Just autofill downwards. All right. So now we know how much percentage this guy's going to get. But now we have to work out the bonus amount. So the bonus amount, I've said that the bonus amount is the bonus percentage of the basic salary. So it will be that percentage of his basic salary. All right. 10% of 15,200 is 1,520. Okay. But imagine if you're working with very odd numbers, you have to now get formulas to do this as well. I showed you previous as well how to work out percentages of a certain amount. To work out a percentage of any amount, it's easy. You just take the actual amount and you multiply it with that percentage. All right. So that's how you can work out your percentage for each one. Okay. So to show you, this is now basic calculations, no form. So it's equals. That's the basic salary, multiply with the percentage. Once again, it's too small. I can just make it bigger. And there's your percentage worked out for you. All right. So once again, to work out percentage of any amount, you take the actual amount, you multiply it with the percentage that you have, and that will give you your bonus amount, or whatever percentage you wanted of this. All right. So this will be the same for everybody. So I can just autofill it, and it will work out everything for you. Remember, I showed you so if you're working with accounting number formatting, currencies, all right, if you're working with money, if it's a 0, it won't show Rand 000. It will put in that little hash there to show that there is no money. All right, it's a 0 value. All right, so this is the correct way it should display, because it's accounting number formatting. So it works out the percentage for each person now. All right, now we come to total salary for this person. So here we said total salary will be the basic salary plus the bonus amount. So that's obviously it's that one plus that one. So for this, we're also just going to do a basic calculation. So it's equals basic plus bonus amount. Easy as that. Press enter. Once again, my column's too small. Just make your column bigger. I'm using just the auto fit function, and it adds it all for me. All right, so that was using the lookup formula itself. So remember, lookups lookup to check one value, compare it to a table of information, and whatever information is linked to that. All right, so it's those 3 steps. What I'm looking at, I was looking at that, comparing it to my rates and what is linked to the rates next to it. All right. As I said, I will post this video as well, and I'm going to post the links to the files as well with each video today as well. Okay, so you can go through the files and see what we're doing, so you can practice on your own. Right, as I said as well previously, if you're still getting stuck, you're not sure, I did put my email on this sheet here, so you can email me directly if you need assistance as well. All right, then I will try and assist as far as I can. right? I can even, once you've gone on your computer, I can actually control your PC and work with you on your same computer so you can see what you're doing wrong or doing correct. Okay. All right, guys, so there was now the lookup formula. Now we're going to go to a bigger formula, which is the Vlookup. All right. So you get the basic lookup formula, then you get Vlookup and Hlookup. All right. I'm just going to type it here so you can see what ones I'm talking about. So the other formula you get is the Vlookup, and you get Hlookup. All right. So those are the other two lookup formulas that you can work with. All right. Now, these two formulas, the Vlookup and Hlookup, does exactly the same thing, just in a different manner. All right. So Vlookup stands for vertical lookup, Hlookup horizontal lookup. Now, depending on which formula you're going to use, depends on how your data sets out. All right. So to explain these formulas to you, I'm going to give you an example. You as a student, you're at UNISA, you want to get a printout of your results that you got for your exam or your particular subjects. So what it is you do, you go to the help desk when we were open, you went to the help desk, you ask the person, I please want a printout. The person takes your student number, types it in, press enter, and gives you a printout of what you did. I'm going to show you how you can create a report system like this using Excel. All right. If you don't need fancy programming or anything to do this, you can actually do it all in Excel using the lookup formulas. All right. For this, I'm just going to go here to my report sheet here at the bottom. So you can see I've just made a basic thing. There's not a lot of data in here. It's just so that I can keep it simple so you can guys see what it is you're doing. So there would have been the student number. There it says, dear Mr. Mrs. Midway, results for your subject is assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3. So basically I want to get all the information that I have here, for example, into that sheet. So if I type in that student number, for example, I'm going to get the surname in there, the marks for the assignments, the year mark, the pass, fail, distinction, everybody for that person in my reports by simply entering the student number. All right. Now, as I said, there's two lookups, the Vlookup and Hlookup. To know which one you're going to be using, you always look at your headings, all right? The headings of your information. So here's my headings, all right? So my headings is student number, surname, assignment 1, 2, 3, 4, year mark, pass, fail, and distinction. These are my headings. Now, if you can see, my headings is running which direction? They're running horizontally, all right? So this is where most people now go wrong. They say, all right, my headings are running horizontally, so I'm going to use the Hlookup. And that's where you're wrong. Whichever direction your headings run, you use the opposite lookup, all right? So if your headings is running horizontally, you're going to use the Vlookup. If your headings was running downwards on the side, you would have used the Hlookup. Because how the lookup work? The vertical lookup, horizontal lookups, stands for how does it search to give information. So I want to search for a student number, for example, in this report, because I'm going to type in a student number. Let's just use the first student number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So I want to look up the information of that student from here. All right. So I want to get information of that student. So if you use the Vlookup, it will search vertically. So it will search vertically downwards for the number you typed in and then give the information linked to it on the right. Okay, so it searches vertically. That's why Vlookup. Hlookup would have searched horizontally and then give information what's beneath it. So that's not what we want to do. All right. Now, when you're doing Vlookups and Hlookups, there's two things that most people struggle with, and this is where they go wrong and struggle. All right. And I'm going to show you where this is. So I'm going to go to my report now. So I'm going to click on the next box here in this black box here where it says dear Mr. Mrs. whatever. So in there, I want to get that surname of that student number. All right. So I'm going to go to my insert function. And I'm going to say I want to use the Vlookup. If it's not there, once again, you could have just gone on top. You could have just typed in there Vlookup. Always type just one word. No spaces if you're typing formulas. It's always one word. Clicks on go and there's the lookup I want to use. So here's your Vlookup. Now the Vlookup works with 4 steps, all right? So it's a lookup value, table area, column index number, and then range lookup, all right? So the lookup value, guys, if you get the first step correct, you're halfway through your formula. The lookup value will always be what or who are you looking for? The information of what? I want to look up the information of that student number. So you simply click on your student number that you typed in there. All right. So this will be your search bar basically that you're going to type in when you're creating your program. So I want to work with that student. I want to look up the information of that student number. So I've clicked on there. You'll see as well on the side it shows you what it is in there. So it shows the student number. Okay. Table area. This is now where people start to struggle. All right. So where must I look for the information of the student? Now this is where students have to go in this struggle. So now I have to go to EUP. I have to highlight. I want to look for a student now. I'm just highlighting part of this just to show you the example of what's going to happen. All right. So once you've highlighted whatever it is you want to search for, it tells you search from there to there. Okay. Now say I want to go to my next step. Now as soon as you click on your next step, all right. All right. Once you're there, let me just go back to it. Let me just highlight it again. See, already it's starting to give me problems as well because I'm doing something wrong. So now I said, all right, I want to look for that. Now I want to go back to my report to say, what am I doing? Now, once you go back to your report, it will start bringing information that you don't want. All right. So there's an easy way of doing this. If you remember when we were on the EUP sheet here in the beginning, all right, on this sheet where we had all information, we highlighted all of these columns and we gave it a name. They're on top. Remember, we gave it the name of results. This is now where your naming of information is going to become important. All right. So now I can simply, if I'm doing my Vlookup, instead of having to highlight, jump up and down between sheets, you can simply use what you had. So lookup value, once again, always what are you looking at? I'm looking at my student number. Table area. So the table area is basically where is your source of information? Where's your data? Where's all the information? We just gave it names. We can simply type in that name in there. Results. As soon as I type network results in there, you'll see on the side automatically it's going to show you what is it that you're working with. It shows you working with student number, surname, assignment 1. If it was big, you would have seen it shows all the other information in there as well. Okay, so this is where your naming of your cells becomes important. You have to name your cells so that you know what it is you, so that you don't have to jump up and down and highlight and struggle with the computer not putting in all the information that you want. Because once you've given it a name, you know it's a set value, it can't change, it will always use the same information. All right. So this is where your naming of cells now comes important. Now we get to the next step. Now we come to column index number. So what is column index number? All right. What is it we want of this person now? We're busy there where it says dear, Mr., Mrs., Miss, whatever. So I want to put in the student surname in there. All right. So I want to use the surname. But you can't type in their surname in there. Excel will think you're crazy, all right? It has to work with numbers, as it says column index number. And this is where you can make your life easier for you as well. I'm just going to close to show you what I did. So the column index number that they're talking about there is all of your headings, all right? So there's my headings. This will be your column index number. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So those are all of your headings. All right. This is your column index number. You take your headings, you start numbering them from 1 all the way to the last one. So what I just always do, I just take a piece of paper, write them down underneath each other, and then number them from the top downwards. I'm just going to show you, I did it in an Excel sheet. So I copied all my headings in there, and you simply just start numbering them from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoops, it's 8, 9. So this will be your column index number when you're working with your formulas, right, with your lookups. So if you want the surname, you're going to put in your column index number 2. If you want the information of assignment 3, the column index will be number 5. All right. So I'm just going to go back to my report. So I'm going to do it again. Sorry, I'm jumping up and down a lot, guys, but just so that I can explain to you where it's coming from and where am I getting my information. All right. So once you use my lookup, once again, it will be the student number. Table area is where it is results. That's where you have to look for the information. Column index, as I showed on the previous sheet, we know for surname it's column number 2. As soon as I put in column number there as well, you'll see automatically it's going to put in the surname there already to show you what your answer is going to be. All right. Now for your next step, here where it says range lookup. Luckily for what you guys need to do for UP, you don't have to use the range lookup. That is once you get to a bit more advanced Excel, we can actually build in if statements and other formulas into your formula as well. So you don't need to do this, all right? For your assignments and things that you need to do, you'll only need to use the first 3 steps, all right? So the first step is always, what am I looking at? So I'm looking at the student number. Where am I getting my information? And what is it I want in the information? So my column index number. So once I have in that in there, I can simply type OK, and it puts in the surname for me. So you're basically going to do a lookup for each one. So let's do the next one for assignment 1, for example. So once again, look up the column index number are those. I'm working with assignment 1, so it would have been column 3 once we get there. All right. So Vlookup. What am I looking at? I'm looking at the student number. Where is the information? You gave it a name because you don't want to search. So you type in the same one again, results, like we did. Now we're working with column number 3. I can simply click on. Okay, there's the next one. All right. I'm going to do it again just to show you can see how we do this again. All right. There is, once you get a bit more familiarized with this, you can actually use absolute style referencing to do this as well. All right. But I'm just doing a few examples so you can see what it is I'm doing over and over. So lookup value is always what I'm looking for. So it will be the student number, the surname, the ID number. All right. You'll notice that when you're using lookup formulas, 90% of the time it will always be a number that you're looking for. All right. Because numbers is the easiest thing to work with, because it will never be the same than the previous guys. That's why whenever you go to anywhere, if you open accounts at the bank, if you open accounts at a clothing store, when you want to make a payment, they ask you for your card because your card has your account number. If you don't have your account number, it can give you ID number. And that's why they always work with numbers, because numbers are the easiest function to work with to look up. All right. So 90% of the time, the lookup value will always be a number. So once again, I want to look at the student number. Where is all the information? It is in results because we gave it a name on that sheet. I want to work with assignment 2. Assignment 2 is in column 4. And it's easier to have my answer. So just make sure assignment 2, that's in column 4. All right. So this is where I'm getting all of my information from. All right. Okay. I'm just going to make it a bit faster so I can do all of these quickly. All right. I'll fix all of them now. I'm just putting them all in there so I can show you what's going to happen. All right, just going to fix all of my values there. So that's for column 5. That's column index 6. That's column index 7. It would have been 9. Alright, that's what I'm just going to VLOOKUP in there again. So this is now where it says you need a year mark of 70 to pass the subject. This means that you have. So now I basically want to put in if the student has passed or failed. Once again, I'm going to use my VLOOKUP. So I click on that. Where's all my information? It is in results. Column index, that is in column 8. And it will show passed. So basically, I have all the information of the students in here. All right, so that was for that first student. All right, okay. You can see all the information that I have in there is what's on that report. Well, I'll show you now as well. Just want to take down something quickly. All right, so let's, for example, I want to search now for that student's information. Once you did your lookup once, you don't have to do it again, because all the information is there and you can actually just use your program or your reporting system. All right. So if I go to my report there, so I can take that student number now and put in next student number 4896347. So I simply type in the student number, press enter, and now I get all the information of that student. So that student would have been for that person there. All right. So you can literally use any of these student numbers to get the information. All right. Let's use another example. I'm just writing down student numbers here so I can use them quickly. All right. So if I go to my reports again, I'm going to put in another student number there to show you as well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's the next student. So automatically, this now becomes your reporting system. So this is very nice if you're working in a company and you have, for example, employees, and you need to monitor what people are doing. If somebody asks you, what did this guy do? You can simply type in his staff number or ID number, whatever you used on your system, and it will put in all the information that you had. All right. You can make this look better. You can put in your company's logos or whatever you make to look better. I just left it simple so that there's not too much data in here to confuse you guys. All right. Another example, let's put another student of 610845555. There's another student's information in there as well. So the VLOOKUP you're going to use, especially if you want to create reports where the variables will keep changing. So if you want to keep changing the student number, the ID number, the account number, whatever the case would have been, and this is what you'll get. All right, so we'll put in all the information for you. Okay. Any questions from anybody before I continue? I know this is a lot of information and it is quite confusing if you see it for the first time. All right. As I said already, the videos will be there to make your life easier so you can just go through them and see what it was I was explaining. Okay. Okay, so anybody have a question? Don't see any hands going up anyway. Okay, all right. So that was now the VLOOKUP. All right, so the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, as I said, they will look the same. You'll have just use the different lookup depending on how your information was. To give an example, I'm just going to take all of this information quickly. All right, I'm just going to put it here in a new sheet quickly. So let's say my information was running in different directions. All right, just going to fix all of this. So now I can say I have the same information, but now my information is on the side. My heading's on the side. So now you would have used your HLOOKUP because you would have searched horizontally to go get the number, then get the information beneath it. All right. So that's the only difference between VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP is whether your information is running across or down. Okay. So that's the only difference that you have with those. Just going to delete that so we don't have it there again. Okay. So on this one we use the lookups. Remember lookups, if you want to look at a certain amount, compare it to a table and the information linked to that table. So that's the normal lookup. VLOOKUP if you want to look for one particular number or whatever the case is, and all the information linked to that student or that account, that ID number, whatever the case might be. So that's how the lookup and the VLOOKUP differs from each other. All right. Going to go back to my EUP sheet here as well. All right, so that was now what we did for the VLOOKUP. HLOOKUP, we did wrap text. We can see how to put your text underneath each other in one cell instead of having going on and having to make your columns bigger. All right, so let's say this is all information, but let's say you've got 1,000 students or 10,000 students, whatever the case might be. And you now want to see just all the students that has passed. So you only want to get a list of all the people that has passed. You want to print a list of the people that has passed, excluding all the people that has failed. Now I think, all right, I have to sit and I have to look for all the people that has failed and I have to take them out. All right, there's an easy way to do this. This is where your filtering will come into effect. So how filters work? You're going to use your headings. All right, so I'm simply going to click on my headings there. I'll highlight all of my headings for my columns. All right. I'm going to go to my data menu where we did the sorting as well. So I'm going to click on data. Here we did the sorting, all right? Next to sorting, there's an option that says filter. There's that little funnel sign there, all right? Because you want to filter whatever it is you want to work. So I'm going to click on filter. All filter now does, you'll see next to each heading, there's a little drop down arrow there, all right? See next to each one, there's a little drop down arrow going downwards. That is now your filtering option. And this way you can simply use your filters. So we say we only want the people that is passed. So you're going to go here to where it says pass or fail. Click on that drop down menu. At the bottom, you'll get all the options that you have for that particular option. This is now will pass or fail. First thing you always do if you want to use filter, always click on select all so it's not selected anything. All right. Now you can start selecting what it is you want. I only want the people that has passed. So you click on pass. That's your filter you want. You click on OK. As easy as that, it only gives you all the information of the people that is passed. It takes away all the failed, everything else, and you can simply now print your list from there. If you want to filter your data even more, you can say, I only want the people that is passed with distinctions so you can see who must get awards. Now you can go to your distinctions as well. Click on the drop down for your filter. First, take all the things away. I want the people that has distinctions. Yes. Click on yes. Click on OK. And there's your filtering done for people that is passed with distinctions. So you can filter this as much you want. If you want to get your data back, it's not deleted. Don't worry. All right. All you simply have to do if you want to take them one by one away or on the same data menu on top, Where you got filter, there's the option that says clear. All right, you all see clear there on top. I'm holding my mouse there. All right, there it says clear. Simply click on clear, and there's all your information back. All right, so it only hides while you're filtering, doesn't delete anything. All right, so you can only see what you're using. This comes in very handy for people doing statistics as well, so you can get more accurate numbers from there. All right. Same thing goes if you want to work with numbers. Let's say, for example, of numbers. If you want to see only people that has a certain mark, let's choose people between 40 and 60. People that has between 40 and 60. You can go to your year mark. Here you get the option where it says number filters. All right, you can say the equals, don't equals, greater than, whatever you want. You can have a whole bunch of options when you're working with numbers. But we want to work with between. So we say between, get your options. I want to have marks between 40 and between 60. You simply click on OK. There's all the people that has marks between 50 and 60. All right. So your filtering option does come in quite handy if you want to sort your data, not having to see everything that's not needed. All right. So this is where your filtering will come into place. Once again, I can simply clear my data and there's all my information back. Okay. Any questions again, perhaps? Nothing from anybody. All right. I think what I'll do is quickly, I just want to show you guys where these links are in case you want to see where the videos are. All right. So it's on that website I told you. You'll simply go to http. Oh. What did I type? Let me just see. Florida. Let's just do it from here. url.com/ Right, so to get to the videos, you'll see there's a whole bunch of links on top. All right, there's one that says student support materials. You can all just click on that. But on this website as well, you will see all the different classes that we have online as well. So you can always come here every week to see which classes, what's going to be happening. All right, so under student support materials, you can see there's computer clinic. You can either get it there.
Sorry, we're not seeing that screen.
Oh yeah, sorry, you consider it's on the wrong page. Oh, sorry, man. We just bring it to the right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, just go back. So this is where you'll go to get your information. So this is that tinyurl.com, Florida Eunice. All right, you'll get to this page here. All right. On there, you can see the first landing page will be where you can get basic information that's needed for now. All right. There's also a form if you need any query, you can complete the form, then will be sent to people so that they can answer you. Hi, sorry guys. We just got load shedding, so I just had to reconnect to another network quickly. Can you guys still all see me, hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes.
Yes, you
Just
can.
going to get my screen back quickly to show you what's going on. All right. All right. Okay, now we're back. Let me just get back to where we were. This load shedding messes up everything. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So on this page that I gave you on this file, all right, this is where you get information. So if you go to student support materials, all right, they can get information. There's a whole bunch of different subjects that's on there as well. So if you guys need help, you can go to any of these as well. Here's one for EUP. There you can see there's the sessions, the first two sessions, all right. And they will take you then to the videos of those sessions, all right. Just coming back to my work here. Just get everything working again. All right. So is there any questions from anybody before we continue? Just see there any questions? No, nobody asking questions. All right. Okay, guys, if there's no other questions or anything, then that was the training for today as well for the lookups and if statements and VLOOKUPs and sorting. All right. As I said, if you guys need any help, please feel free to just email me, pop me an email directly. All right, there's my email. I will try and answer things that I can. If it's something not related to what I'm doing, I will try and forward to somebody that can assist you as well so you can get help as well. That's the website that you need if you want to get all those videos as well. All right. And I think that was it then for today. If there's nobody asking questions or anything, I think we're done for today then. Then for those doing Word on Wednesday, we're doing Word. Is it Word on Wednesday, I think? Yeah, on Wednesday, I have another session at 9 again. Then I'll see some of you guys there again. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.